average, right? So an average is a 5 and you tell them they are a 7, well then they are still above average in attractiveness. Okay, so they are talking about something that they know. Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. So in this one I thought we could talk about the downsides of being attractive. Now obviously I want to begin this video by saying that there are more advantages to being attractive than disadvantages, but there are still downside. The first one being conventionally attractive women are not allowed to be introverted. Okay, if you are conventionally attractive as a woman, if you're beautiful, your introversion is going to be seen as an offense to many. Many are going to project and view your introversion as you thinking you are better than them, that you're looking down on them, that you are stuck up. I remember when I was 26, 27, so almost 10 years ago, I was painfully insecure, you guys. Okay, back then I really had self-esteem issues, and I used to hide behind fashion. I used fashion as a shield. So every time that I was invited to a birthday party, for example, or a barbecue, I would spend hours, okay, scooping Zara, H&M, Mango, trying to find their perfect outfit, the perfect shoes. I'll spend hours on YouTube looking for makeup tutorials and hair. Back then I was not very good at doing my makeup or my hair, but I would still try my best, and I would really spend hours crafting my image again. I still do that today. I mean, not to that extent. I don't spend 6 hours getting ready to go anywhere today, more like an hour, maybe 2, but today it comes from a place of self-respect. It comes from a place of self-love, where back then it really came from a place of insecurity. But anyways, I will get there, and I am a very, very tall girl. Now I'm seated right now obviously, but I am 5'11", and I would wear quite tall heels, so I would be around 6'5", and obviously, you know, in any room when someone who is 6'5" enter, everybody is going to be like, you know, who is this? Everybody's gonna look your way. And you know, so when I would get there and everyone looked, you know, in the same direction towards me, I would immediately freeze. So I would take like maybe perhaps 2 steps, and then I would hide, you know, somewhere. It was very close to the door obviously, because I just came in a corner, and I would just stand there all by myself, you know, and really overdressed. And this would lead to resentment from cliquish women. Okay, so very soon I would see small groups form, okay, sometimes literally 70-75 meters from me, and they would talk about me basically, right? You can always tell when people are talking about you. You know, sometimes this group would be so close to me that I could hear words. So I remember this time where I had a lot of silver jewelry on, and I could hear, you know, someone saying silver, and you know, everybody looking my way. But you know, you can tell when a group of women are talking about you. You know, oftentimes there's going to be one that is going to be looking in your direction, and then looking back, and then someone else, etc, etc, right? So I would stand there for usually 40 minutes to an hour. I would look for the person who had a birthday, give them their gift, or if it was a barbecue, or the organizer, and then I would go home. I would really, you know, the days where I made it to an hour were days where I celebrated. I would aim for 40 minutes max, and then I would go home, right? And I would cry, and I would be sad, and I would be like, why do all these women hate me so much? What have I done to them? And you know, fun fact is that, you guys, I would have given anything for one of those girls to come and talk to me. Like, I really would have liked that. I was really desperate for a friend back then. That was before I met my best friend Agnes, and I really wanted someone to come and be like, girl, this outfit is fire, and then we would discuss, you know, fashion, boys, whatever, you know, something, anything. But it never happened. I was always really disliked. And looking back, now that I don't have the victim mindset anymore, I can see why. Obviously, if someone walks somewhere really dressed up, and you know, is just standing there staring at anyone, not really talking to anybody, it can give stuck up. Now obviously this is a projection on these people, and I was not actually stuck up, but I can see how that can be interpreted as such. I can see how that can be read as such. So yeah, if you're a very conventionally attractive woman, your introversion is going to be seen as an offense to many. I've noticed that generally men and women alike just don't like when attractive women are confident. I've noticed this, like back in the days where I used to be insecure, I had a lot more friends. When, for example, my friends would be like, oh, this dress is really nice, and I'd be like, oh, this is just an old thing from Mango. Or they would, you know, compliment, address my hairstyle, and I would be like, oh, you know, my hair didn't turn out so good, or you know, my makeup didn't turn out so good. Like back when I used to down myself a lot, when I had a very negative self-talk. I had much more friends than I do today. It seems like the world is just not very comfortable with attractive women knowing that they're attractive and stating so. It's always like, you have to be humble, you have to be humble. And my question is, humble for what? For what? Why do attractive women in particular have to be humble about their looks? Why? Because it doesn't seem like anyone else have to be humble about our looks. You know, people come to me in the street all the time and tell me how beautiful I am, how gorgeous I am. So they don't have to be humble about my look. So why do I, that possess my look, that put in the effort in order to get these looks, why do I have to be humble about it? I need an answer, because humble for what? Why? Okay? Until I get the answer, I'm not going to be humble about anything, because again, there's no reason for me to be, right? Now, in my opinion and experience, it's not only women that are not comfortable with attractive women knowing and stating that they're attractive. It seems to me that men as well are not very comfortable with this in the dating scene. A couple of weeks ago, I went on this second date with this guy, and I don't know what we were talking about, and I made this joke like, imagine not liking me, right? I don't know why anyone would not like me, right? And then I laughed, and you guys, when I tell you I could tell on this spot that I was not getting a third date, I could tell on the spot, okay, which is fine because I didn't want any, but it seems like men are comfortable with attractive women who don't know that they're attractive, or who try to pretend like they don't know that they're attractive. So attractive women who have low self-esteem, men are not comfortable with attractive women who actually know and act and carry themselves as, you know, if they are attractive. It seems like men are not very comfortable with that. I mean, it makes sense somehow, because I guess it triggers insecurity in them and make them feel like you could, you know, replace them in a New York minute. I mean, think about it. Most of the time, men who approach, you know, very, very conventionally attractive women, you have to be very confident in order to approach a woman like that, right? Like, because the stakes are higher, especially in public. You know, if she rejects you, everyone is going to be looking your way, right? You have to be even kind of overconfident in order to approach, you know, a very, very attractive woman. They actually study that prove that very, very conventionally attractive people are not approached very often, because people often assume that either they're in a relationship, or just people are very so intimidated by the way they look that they don't actually approach them. So in my opinion, men who often, you know, who don't have any problem about in the cold, right, just shooting the shot at very, very conventionally attractive women, are either men who are overconfident or men who are narcissistic. There are lots of stories about this, you know, on the internet, about how men target very, very beautiful women in order to break their self-esteem, right? They want to break you down because they are so afraid that, you know, if you know your worth, you are going to leave them behind and look for someone better. So it seems like narcissistic men have made it their job to get in relationship with very attractive women, just to tell them every day that looks are not all that, looks fade. And you guys, can we get into that? Like, why do people always feel the need to tell attractive women that their looks will fade? First of all, false. Okay, if you are genuinely attractive, if you have a symmetrical face, your looks will not fade. Okay, now will you get older? Absolutely. But think of Nia Long. Okay, think of Halle Berry. Okay, think of Angela Bassett, and I could go on and on and on. Okay, the ex-wife of Eddie Murphy, is her name Nicole Murphy, right? There are loads of women in their mid-50s, 60s who look attractive still, right? Like, why is the world so obsessed with humbling attractive women? I don't know, and I will get into that, you know, towards the end. But looks don't fade. Okay, like if your looks faded, I hate to say it, but you were never really that attractive to begin with. I find that oftentimes people conflate being conventionally attractive with being really put together. Sometimes when you are really, really put together and confident, and you go out into the street and, you know, you are holding yourself high, like, people subconsciously, you will emote fear in people. Okay, so store clerks, waitresses, waiters, right, are going to treat you with more care, because subconsciously what you are saying by, you know, really putting your best foot forward is, I really care about me, I'm not someone you should mess with. And people are going to follow. Okay, they are also going to be like, who, maybe something really wrong could come with, you know, messing with this person. This is why I always stress the importance of looking your best, because looking your best tells a story to the world. It tells the story of how much you care about you. But that is not the same as pretty privilege confidence. That is not the same as having a face that is symmetrical. You know, women who are naturally beautiful, women who could rock short hair, again, Nia Long, okay, Halle Berry, women who could go out without any makeup, just their hair in a bun, and still be, you know, really recognized for their looks. I don't find that those type of looks fade, you know, like Naomi Campbell. I don't think so, you know. I mean, unless of course there are things like gaining a lot of weight which could affect the symmetry of your face. Now, I'm not saying that there's no woman out there who is overweight that looks good. That is not true. But for some people, you know, if they gain a lot of weight, that does affect the symmetry of their face, and then it does change them. I know that I belong to that group. I'm not somebody that looks good, you know, chubby. Unfortunately, it's just not how, you know, my face is set up. So let's put that to bed. Looks don't fade. Okay, if your looks faded, I hate to say it again, but you didn't have any to begin with. Okay. Edited to say that obviously women can lose their looks due to disfiguration. So obviously if you get into a car accident or somebody throws battery acid at you, obviously that is a way that women could lose their looks. So stop trying to humble women who take pride in being conventionally attractive. Now, another downside of being conventionally attractive is that people just don't take you seriously. Like, people don't view you as a full-blown human being for whatever reason. Men are just going to see you as someone who, you know, they can use, someone whose body they really want to use, and someone who, you know, they want to be seen with outside, you know, in order to gain, I guess, points, but not as a full-blown human being who could, you know, be smart. It seems like a lot of men have internalized that beautiful women are dumb, that we are not capable of, you know, having a brain cell. This is something that I've talked about before, that I deal a lot with on first dates. People seem very puzzled that I'm able to have, you know, intellectually intelligent conversation. People seem puzzled by the fact that I can be funny, which really, 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 I don't understand. I can't believe that people actually believe that there's a correlation between weight and beauty, that people think that, you know, how funny you can be is impacted by how beautiful you are. That really doesn't make any sense to me. Please, if you understand this in any way, shape or form, let me know in the comment section down below, because it makes zero sense to me. But yeah, oftentimes people are surprised that I can be hilarious, which really I don't understand. But yeah, I would say the world still expects beautiful women to be kind of dumb, you know, not very bright, not very smart. So yeah, and mental health as well is an issue in this case, because people only view us like from what they can get from us, you know, what can I benefit here. Men and women don't seem to take our mental health seriously. I was told many times, as I was talking to a friend recently about, you know, restarting YouTube and the anxiety that comes with this journey, and she was like, oh yeah, you know, in worst case scenario you can always find a man to take care of you again, because, you know, my ex was taking care of me. And I just felt like, don't you think I know that? That's not the subject matter though. That's not what I'm telling you about right now. It has also seemed in the past in relationship that my depression was not taken seriously, my anxiety was not taken seriously. So basically, whatever you have, whatever you say, people are like, oh yeah, you're pretty, you're gonna be okay. So it seems to me that people don't view us as full-blown human beings. And it's not only men that want to use us, by the way. Some women want to use beautiful women as well for free drinks, you know, for association with them. I guess they feel like, you know, if they associate with you, somehow they're going to be perceived as attractive in some way. Or if they go outside, you know, a man pick up the tab, they're not going to have to pay their share. So it's not only men that, you know, want to use attractive women. Some women want to use us as well. Very, very annoying and disgusting, but a real thing. I was actually told verbatim, okay, by somebody this summer. He wanted to go to a wedding with me, and I was like, why should I do that? You know, I'm not your girlfriend or nothing. He's like, yeah, you know, I want to go there with you and brag. Literally, you guys, like, no consideration for my feelings whatsoever. Like, I'm a human being. I have emotions. Like, how do you tell tell me that. Like, obviously I didn't go, but that was really, really hurtful. And I find that people think that it is a compliment in a way, but it's not. It's really hurtful, you guys. Don't do that. It's really, really hurtful when people, you know, bring you back to your look as if that is all you are, as if that is all you have to offer. You know, we have so much more to offer. Many of us do. So please stop. It's not, you know, giving what you think is giving. Don't do that, right? And about it's not giving what you think is giving, the last thing that I'm going to talk about in this video is, I touched on this earlier, but I really wanted to go further, is the pathological need that a lot of people feel to humble attractive women. Listen, it's giving obsessed, okay? Every time that someone talks about the disadvantages of being beautiful, there's always many people in the comment section down below be like, you're not all that, you're a 7 anyway, which is not the drag I all think it is, because if most people are average, right? So an average is a 5 and you tell them they're a 7, well, then they are still above average in attractiveness, okay? So they are talking about something that they know. So please stop trying to humble, you know, confident, beautiful women, telling them they're not all that. I actually do feel like people should have to post themselves on the internet before they can discuss somebody's look. I feel like people should be able to talk about anything, you know, abuse and stuff anonymously, but anonymously has their bold, okay? Like, people will be like, oh, you're not all that, or Kelly Rowland is not all that, or Beyonce is not all that. Let us see you. Listen, if Kelandra Rowland is not that girl, you should have to post your picture in order to say something like that. I don't even care. Like, you should have to post a selfie of yourself before you can come for Kelandra Rowland's look, because yeah, it's giving mentally unstable. I'm not even gonna lie, because yeah, it don't even make sense. So please stop trying to humble attractive women. They are allowed to be just as confident as anyone else. I find that the world is not comfortable with attractive women being confident. It seems like everyone can, you know, big up themselves. Everyone can talk about how cute they are, how pretty they are, how beautiful they are, and the world's gonna be like, yes, girl, you better talk your age, blah, 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 blah. But as soon as someone who is, you know, actually conventionally attractive talk about how good she looks, it's always like, oh, you gotta be humble, da, 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 da. No. Again, humble for what? That we are not being humble in 2020. For 2025 and forward. Okay, so don't be in my comment section being like, girl, you're not all that. Honey, baby, I am all that and a bag of chips. Okay, listen, post yourself, okay? Unless you are willing to post a picture of you, do not comment about my look in the comment section down below, okay? And that's on Mary and Delay, okay? Anyways, you guys, on the top of my mind, these are the main disadvantages that I can think about, you know, are linked to high levels of attractiveness, or just being slightly above average in attractiveness, which is where I would, you know, place myself. In the comment section down below, let me know, you know, what do you think about this? What is your experience as a woman who is conventionally attractive? Do not forget to give this video a like and subscribe to my channel as well. And I will talk to you guys tomorrow, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thanks for watching. Bye, guys.